The United States is expected to go to war against Venezuela. That is not just something we've been warning you of over the past few weeks. This is what experts are anticipating because both sides are at that point. Look at this. It says Venezuela's Maduro says U.S. is fabricating war as it deploys world's largest warship. The United States is not fabricating a war. The United States is showing force, is showing strength. That is what President Trump is doing. He is telling Nicolas Maduro and Venezuela and Colombia to stop sending drugs to the United States, or we're going to shoot them out of the water and we will potentially attack you on your own land. I'll show you that in a moment. Let's read this. It says right here, Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro has accused the U.S. of fabricating a new war after it ordered the world's largest warship to be sent to the Caribbean. It says the USS Gerald R. Ford can carry up to 90 aircraft, and its deployment marks a massive increase in U.S. firepower in the region. The U.S. has conducted 10 airstrikes on vessels in the area as part of what it says is a war on drug traffickers. It goes on to say, U.S. President Donald Trump has accused Maduro of being the leader of a drug trafficking organization, which he denies. And there are fears in Venezuela that the U.S. military buildup is aimed at removing the longtime opponent of Trump from power. Possibly. Look at this. It says, why is Trump, the self-proclaimed president of peace, aiming to topple the Venezuelan regime? Well, that's where it comes down to the drugs, but also the United States as pretty much as a whole. Look at this. It says, it was a solemn pledge at the heart of Donald Trump's America First appeal. A Make America Great Again foreign policy would mean the end of military commitments that had in the past sucked the U.S. into draining and drawn-out wars far from its own shores. Now an intense military buildup targeting the authoritarian regime of Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela is stretching that commitment to the breaking point as the White House strikes a bellicose posture that seems to mock Trump's self-proclaimed president of peace image. Yeah. What's interesting about what's going on right now is that even though President Trump is that self-proclaimed president of peace, what he finds and what he's looking for even more than that is safety here in the United States, stability in the region, and ensuring that every other country understands the United States is not one to be messed with. According to experts during the previous administration, so the Biden administration, they were saying that President Biden did not show strength, and now many countries don't think the United States is as strong as we once were. According to Pentagon officials, what the president is doing now is showing that we have strength. That is something that he wants to show. I want to show you something else. Look at this. This shows strength. President Trump is considering plans to target cocaine facilities inside Venezuela. I want to read a little bit of this to you. It says President Donald Trump is considering plans to target cocaine facilities and drug trafficking routes inside Venezuela, though he has not yet made a decision on whether to move forward with them. It said outward signs on Friday pointed toward a major potential military escalation, with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth ordering the Navy's most advanced aircraft carrier strike group, currently stationed in Europe, to the Caribbean region, amid a massive buildup of U.S. forces there. President Trump has also authorized the CIA to conduct covert operations in Venezuela. Now, I said this earlier this week, that when President Trump authorized CIA action inside of Venezuela, we knew there was already something going down. And some were saying, well, this is it. They are going inside and they are going to target Nicolas Maduro. Well, the CIA is there to collect intelligence. Okay? They're the Central Intelligence Agency. So they are there to collect information to report that back to the United States even to the Pentagon, and so the Pentagon can then put the right people in place, potentially even the USS Gerald R. Ford. That's where we're at. I want to read you one last thing. It says, the president has not ruled out taking a diplomatic approach with Venezuela to stem the flow of drugs into the U.S. It says, even after the administration cut off active talks with Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro in recent weeks. Venezuela is not known to be a major source of cocaine, but the Trump administration has been aggressively trying to link Maduro to the drug trade. It says, there are plans on the table that the president is considering regarding operations on targets inside Venezuela. Said he hasn't ruled out diplomacy. Okay. Now, listen to this, okay? I want to play a clip for you, or a little video for you, and then I want to play a clip from Nicolas Maduro himself. Listen to this.
The Trump administration has accused Venezuelan leader Nicolás Maduro of heading up the Cartel de los Soles and facilitating the flow of drugs into the U.S., an allegation Maduro has denied.
This is a central hub of terrorist activity across the Western Hemisphere.
Central hub of terrorist activity across the Western Hemisphere. Not drugs, terrorist activity. Interesting.
The Pentagon says 43 people were killed from at least 10 strikes on vessels they say were carrying drugs, releasing these videos but not providing further evidence.
Okay. Now, President Trump has made it very clear that Nicolas Maduro is a narco-terrorist. Okay? But at the same time, he is killing hundreds of thousands of people, not just in the United States, but all over the world because the drugs that he is producing inside of his country. I want to play you something. Listen to this right here.
No a la guerra, no a la guerra, not war, not war, not war. Yes, peace, yes, peace, yes, peace, forever, forever, forever. Peace forever. No crazy war. No a la guerra loca. No crazy war, no crazy war. Please, please, please. Yes, peace, peace forever, peace forever.
Okay. That is him. That is Nicolas Maduro. Speaking English. She doesn't really do. Okay? Peace forever. No crazy war. Okay? That's what he's asking. Please, please, please. No crazy war. That's what he's telling President Trump. Now, look at this. It says, Trump admin still favors covert ops to oust Maduro. Report claims if we wanted to kill him with a missile, we could have done it by now. We're going to blow up their boats and we're going to be patient about it. Yeah, it's pretty clear what the Trump administration is trying to do. The Trump administration does not want to just go into Venezuela, blow Nicolas Maduro, out of his home. Okay, they don't want to do that. Could we do that? Obviously, we could do that. Okay, done it before with other people. We could do it with him as well. But according to reports, they don't want to do that because they want to find a more diplomatic way to go about this. The simplest thing in which President Trump is trying to do is show enough force and show enough proof of what we have that Nicolas Maduro will simply resign. Just step away and let somebody else lead the country. I don't think that's going to happen, but that is something that the Trump administration is hoping for. They're pretty much just being hopeful that there's another way about this. So we're going to see what happens, but based off what experts are saying, a war in the Caribbean is more than likely at this point. When they say more than likely, that means it's more than a 50% chance the United States is going to go to war in the Caribbean. That means it's likely going to be against Venezuela and probably Colombia. So we'll see what happens, but just understand at this moment, there's a lot of speculation that the United States is going to go to war, which is why President Trump is opening up more drilling and more just so that we can produce more oil, so that once we do strike inside Venezuela and the United States is now hurting because of the oil that does come from there, well, hopefully we can make it up somewhere else. So we'll see what happens, but that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.